Hello?
Hello everyone, greetings and salutations. I am Razim, and this evening we've got Rooms and Reptiles, Dungeons and Dragons. And I'll leave it
Continuing on from last session.
Because you know he's the DM and stuff, so he kind of needs to take over with the recap and whatnot.
We'll get to the recap when okay.
It's kind of, you know, he's kind of got to lead the game a bit and stuff.
I know.
Yeah, so Dova, it's time for Dova to take over with the session here.
Shut up! Just mute him.
I'm going to. Keeps this up. Well, fine. You know what? Fine. I'll read the dang recap. This recap comes from Sully. Last time on Rooms and Reptiles, we entered into the lair of this primal horror itself. These mountainous cosmic abominations waiting for us, and we did battle on their terms. 3-on-1, and we still proved victorious, till their keeper revealed themselves. They seemed to have a connection with Raku in some way, sort of like mine was Sora, but I may have lost my composure when a face from my past revealed itself. It was Eleanor, someone gone from my life 40 years ago. I grabbed my tuner, opened the door, and let my fury play for me. What it did, I'm not sure, but it seemed to hurt it, and we opened up on it. It looked like Ayastal had a plan, which we only needed to survive for, but I had a feeling about what was coming. We managed to survive until that crucial moment, but I believe it's time for the last act, and I'm not sure I can follow the script. Thus we continue. You all had been continuously battling with the self-proclaimed heart of the world until the crucial moment in which Ayastal had activated the usurper's self-destruct. You all were roughly disconnected from your shared mind space and thrust into small capsules with a heavy shuddering noise and a near with all of you nearly blacking out from the force exerted on you. You were thrusted upwards, eventually sort of floating and settling in the air before you all heard a hearty thump in which your surroundings very rapidly changed outside, having seemingly teleported somewhere to the surface. As you sort of get acquainted with your capsules that you're in, you notice that they seem to have been designed for someone a bit larger than you. And in fact, they are quite roomy, even though the padding around you is almost constricted around your body. But no, that's eventually sort of letting off as the forces outside diminish. You feel one more jolt as a very large, almost like a parasail above you opens out of a patterned white cloth, suspending the capsule down from it by a good number of ropes. Four capsules slam into the water underneath with a very large splash. A moment afterwards, the doors rocket out, skipping on the water and eventually sinking somewhere in the waves. The water is still relatively calm, but there's still a very light chop from a gentle breeze coming in from Cobalt, which you think to be the northeast or so. You don't happen to see any distinguishable landmass at the moment. There seems to be a haze that begins a good deal off to your somewhere near the west, as you guess by the setting sun. And as you get out of your capsules, you stand up, you smell a faint smell of almost like ocean salt, but much less prominent. You realize that the four of you, Eric's, Rock, Cobalt, and Raku, seem to be relatively alright. And you get to watch as a fifth capsule slowly drops downwards and splashes into the ocean a short distance away. The lid on the top of it, similar to yours, rockets off, skipping into the water. And inside is someone that you recognize, but you don't really know. It's that, it's the almost ebony white, no, not ebony white, ivory white lizard folk who you saw was attached to the wall of the cavern. Alright, what do you all do?
So we don't see Sully.
No, you don't.
I'm gonna do a perception check.
Go ahead. You don't happen to see Sully anywhere. You don't see any sort of slowly descending capsules. However, you do hear the faint fluttering noise of cloth in the wind somewhere behind you. And could you give me one moment?
Yep.
Be back in a sec. Sorry. Sorry about that. Roommate was moving stuff. I thought he was locked out. As you look behind you, you see the airship in all of its glory, listing as it slowly dives towards the water. There's a large amount of kobolds on deck, currently sort of swinging around the various ropes. On the left side of it, you see a tremendous stone is lodged inside, sort of smashing the entire starboard side of the airship in. Although it seems to be mostly intact at the moment. There is a brief moment of silence before, with a thunderous, almost like a rumbling splash, it slams into the water. Bits and pieces of small splintered wood sort of arc up into the air as it settles, a large plume of water splashing over both you and the boat itself. Eleanor, there's a you're almost like shaken awake by the cold seawater splashing over you. Although it's very hard to open your eyes and move about, you seem to be conscious at the moment.
What? What? Where? It's dark.
Is everybody here?
Tired.
Yep.
Yeah.
Take a check.
Where's Sully? What are you in that pod for? Where is Sully?
What? Who are you?
I'm gonna move my raft closer to his.
I just paddle over.
Raku's gonna think about how much he wanted to turn those purple worms into poison.
It's a sad thought. Sully, you're
Yeah, I'm picking up a lot of background noise.
who's that?
There. This is an old laptop, so something is getting caught in the fan.
Oh.
Oh, that's gonna be fun.
Wow. That sounded like
Is the microphone
Bones.
right next to the fan?
No.
Thought it was a jar of dice.
something like that. Anyways, what you doing?
I'm going to pull this white lizard thing closer to me and look him dead in the eyes and say, "Where's burnt corn?"
Are we still on the? Are we on the same pod or separate?
Different pods.
Separate?
Each of you had your own separate pod.
Okay, so I wouldn't know that.
He finally opens his eyes and looks at you and says, "Burnt? What?" Who?
I'm gonna splash more water on his face.
Stop that.
It kind of stings.
Could you not? Could you?
I'm gonna lean real close to him and say it again. Can I do an intimidate check?
Sure. Go ahead and roll intimidation. There's really no roll against that, so just look at the number that he
Usually
rolls
do insight
and
or
ask yourself
wisdom.
if that would intimidate your character or not. Do try to be fair with that, though.
He's still wearing blood-caked armor.
Of course. Let me just. I'm sorry. I don't know who would name their child burnt corn.
I'm just gonna drop him.
Splash.
You're still in the pod. You just
Yeah, I was holding you up,
headrest.
like lifting you up essentially, and just dropping you back into your boat.
I suppose I'll land on my rear
And then I'm
stand up as my senses come back.
You're having trouble balancing at the moment as the sort of pod rocks back and forth. Your legs and arms shaky. On a unrelated note, the airship seems to be floating quite nicely, if listing quite a bit. It looks like all that wood debris that was sort of ejected from the impact was already broken loose, sort of just around that large rock that's embedded in the side.
Now, is this the area where on the airship where our cart was, or?
No, your cart was. Let me look at the map actually. Your cart is very near the bow of the ship. It
Okay.
is on the starboard side, but not.
So it should be fine, as far as
should
we
be
can
fine.
tell.
Yes.
Okay. I'm gonna throw a couple fire bolts up into the sky, hoping to attract their attention to get us.
Actually, it seems like they've seen you already.
Oh,
The kobolds have sort of reorganized and grouped up and are currently waving at you. Some of them have grabbed a handful of sort of slapped together oars made from a single plank with maybe one or two planks nailed down to the end of it. So it doesn't seem that they're making much progress. At the current moment, they're about 300 feet away.
He's just looking around and wonder like, what's happening? Where am I? Who is this?
I don't know
Where's
who
the
you
stuff?
are, Lizard, but we're gonna get to the bottom of this and figure out what happened to Sully. But for now, I want to get on the airship.
I suppose we get on the airship then. How do we do that?
Well, you're roughly 300 feet away. You could possibly just paddle your way over or swim, but in your case, Eleanor, swimming doesn't seem very possible right now.
I'd imagine he's greatly fatigued.
At the moment, could you give me a Constitution saving throw?
Why, yes, I can. Oops. Oh. Mousepad. How dare. Well, I suppose it's fitting.
Something seems to dislodge near the back of your throat. And after a moment of choking and hacking, you eventually cough up what looks to be a section of sort of a flesh-tinted tubing. And in addition to that, you kind of feel a bit nauseous from all the effort and everything, and you do spew chunks. Although it doesn't seem to be any actual food, but seemingly a yellowish, viscous liquid. You can certainly guess that it's probably what was keeping him fed and alive while attached.
Excuse me, I've soiled my pod. Can I ride in yours?
I'll Can I mentally think to Sora if she knows where Sully is?
Sora seems to grow quiet. You can definitely tell that she's thinking, she's looking, perhaps. But she doesn't come back with a response for you.
Hmm. Well, I'm gonna be heading to the airship, but I'm gonna be dragging this random lizard thing with me.
You'd manage to basically paddle yourself and Eleanor's pod over to the airship with little to no problems. But go ahead and give me an athletics check to get him in.
Make a dex check.
Athletics. Oh, for him?
No, am I making athletics or?
Yes.
Oh, hold on.
Boy, these rolls.
No, the game glitched, but I can go with that if you want.
All right. You're hit with a sudden wave of fatigue. The adrenaline that's been keeping you up suddenly just leaving your bloodstream. But you find that you're pulled up by a decent number of kobolds who sort of met you at the side of the airship, grabbing pieces of your armor and hauling you onto the deck. You fall to your knees as you find that pretty much all of your strength has left you at this point.
It's been a long day.
Yeah. And Eleanor, same goes for you. You're hauled up onto the deck. They seem a bit confused as to why there's such a very tall kobold amongst them, but they seem to just kind of sit you up against one of the sails, one of the masts.
He's 5'8".
That's pretty tall for a kobold.
Oh,
I mean,
these
kobolds 2
poor
feet
precious little darlings.
That's 3 times the height of a kobold.
I mean, yeah, I'm 2'11", so.
No, these precious little idiots.
Is Raku on the ship too, or is he still in his pod?
Still in the pod.
Okay.
Rock and Eleanor are the only ones on the ship at the moment.
Well,
Well,
Eleanor
Paddle.
hooked the little tubing with his tail and is starting to recall things.
Cole's gonna paddle to the ship and then teleport onto it.
Alright. As you find yourself on the deck of the ship, some of the kobolds who you know to be more naive are quite excited to see you do so, but the rest of them are fairly well adjusted to your abilities.
Perks will let them help him up.
without too much fanfare, the rest of you get onto the airship, where you're greeted by the kobolds which you've been mentoring. It appears that you are, in fact, the primary owners of the airship right now. None of the previous crew remain. They tell of a strange sort of voice that almost took control of all the previous crew members. And even though they sincerely tried to keep them from doing so, the previous crew members simply leapt to their death, taken over by some sort of trance.
Wow.
Jeez.
Rock's gonna be shaking his head. More of a
Kobolds-
weak.
Mhm. During that time was the time they first saw that initial Titan. As soon as they saw it, they leapt into action and basically got the airship as far away as possible. Although they did catch a piece of debris from the fighting, they managed to keep it aloft for long enough to, I guess, see what happened. It seemed to be pure luck that they spotted your parachutes, as they were basically trying to bring it down to the ocean. I mean, it was a boat. Some of the more eldest kobolds had reasoned, and it does seem to float rather well. So yes.
So,
Hey, Gova.
Yeah?
Alright, I was just. I mean, Eris can say his thing.
I was literally just gonna say I've got no idea where to go with this from here.
Oh. Rock's gonna look around panically. Does he have his Titan tooth that he took?
When did you take that?
Well, I had it ripped out with the robot, but I never put it anywhere. So he
During
was
which fight was that?
The first fight.
I'll say you can certainly go back to the scene of the crime if you want to find it.
Oh, he's gonna go back to seeing the crowd.
Wait, can we go back to that area that we fought the Titans at?
You probably can't fit the airship. I mean, you actually probably could go down there, but I don't think
I thought I
you'd
was
want-
still in the pod.
Oh no, you were not in the pod, you were on it. Sort of like a life raft.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So was Rock going back to the area, or
Yeah, I was going to Titan area since I was
Uh,
on.
do I see Rock's pod?
Hang on.
Everybody is on the ship right now.
Oh,
Yeah.
Everybody has made their way onto the airship. So if you want to go back, then you certainly can in the future.
I mean, I guess I'll follow Rock if he wants to go somewhere.
He wants his great white whale.
I'd rather not go back to that area personally.
How
But,
can I do a perception check to see how far away that is actually?
Currently, actually, give me a perception check, actually. You don't really know where you are on a map. Although you can see some sort of vague outlines of a landmass to your west-ish, there's really no distinguishing features of the ocean around you.
I think we should first off go find somewhere that we could possibly get the airship repaired. Actually, Why don't
Rockrock's
we-
just gonna. I just rolled a dice to see what he was gonna do. He's just gonna sigh heavily and look longingly in the distance, but he's not gonna chase after the tooth.
What we could do is go talk to our friend, Shuluth, and go see if he's got any ideas for getting it looked at and repaired and stuff.
Ooh. What?
For the record,
I go-
I personally would have, I don't trust this lizard folk yet. So I kind of would have pulled people aside.
Okay.
Can I make a constitution check or save to like muster up some strength to stand up? I want to try and look a little dignified here.
Go ahead. Some of the kobolds have brought you all water, food, some bandages, as a few of you are banged up from the whole experience. The inside the cockpit, the fighting inside the cockpit, as well as the ejection itself. As Eleanor, you start to gain back your strength. Some of the sort of tubes that were attached have sort of rotted away, even before your eyes. There's a few sort of gaping sores on your body. They're not bleeding, but they're open. They definitely need some sort of tending.
I will use lay on hands.
There we go. That'll do it. As a surge of healing energy moves through your body, you use whatever energy that you have left to speed up the process of your own healing. And in about a minute and a half, those sores eventually do close up. Cobalt, are you playing your Game Boy?
No,
Because that was perfect.
no, I'm
It
not
was
playing
me
it.
with my sound effects on the stream.
Oh.
I was about to say my mic was muted.
Take a guess. It was who it said was inactive on Fantasy Grounds.
Well, notably, Eleanor will eat a lot.
Right.
Like, when they bring food, it's gone within seconds.
It's a lot of hardtack and hydrated salted meats. It's fairly fairly
Flavorless.
flavorless. Jeez, but kind of filling, nevertheless.
That's
It's good to
that's
have
fine.
actual
He's
food
got
for the first time in a long time.
he's got some sharp teeth and a strong jaw. He can chew through this.
I don't know. Hardtack has been known to shatter teeth.
Oof.
Thankfully, it's soaked and sort of prepared.
Ah.
But you eventually do manage to gather enough strength to slowly stand up. You realize that your clothing is completely gone. You have nothing but a fairly hard biscuit in your hand and the remnants of a what looks to be maybe a pig's knuckle that's been salted and preserved.
I guess I'll finish and stand proudly regardless.
It's weird to be
reptiles,
standing over
yeah.
your own. Sorry, go ahead.
I said we're reptiles. We can do this.
Yes, exactly.
Well, all right. What are you all doing now?
Well, I asked the group about that idea. Going to Shuluth.
All right.
Yeah, that'd be. Oh, yeah, why not?
If that's what we want to do, then sure.
Alright. Who wants to stay and interrogate this lizard, and who wants to come with me?
I'll go with you.
Cobalt is gonna ask you a question.
Rockrock will stay on the ship with the white lizard thing.
Okay, so Rock, and Kobold interrogate, and Raku and I go to Shuluth. Got it.
Natural good cop, bad cop.
What's your passive perception, Eleanor?
Let's see. My passive perception is 12.
Wouldn't hear that then. Okay.
Well,
They
we
seem
were
to be
purposely
moving
being
amongst
quiet about it,
themselves.
but...
No, I thought you wanted me to make like, what check would I make for that anyway? Insight.
It'd be perception. You heard
Oh.
them.
Anyways, I'm gonna go get the key. Raku is coming with me, and we're gonna go find a secluded door on the airship to use.
All right. You do find that quite a few kobolds are basically following you around. Some of them in awe, and some of them just waiting for new orders from you.
Guys,
On the ship.
go relax for a bit. We're gonna take stock of what's going on and the situation here and figure out where to go from here.
You see a lot of them nod and hear some sort of yips of agreement as they sort of scamper off and start to try and maybe do some repairs on the gaping hole in the side of the ship. On the map itself, which I am going to share, the hole is on the part labeled C4 and C20.
Of course.
It's the
C4 exploded. Of course.
Oh yeah. Your cart is currently in the section labeled C19.
Okay.
So your cart is relatively untouched, but the middle of the ship, the main cargo bay, has been hit quite heavily. But you are afloat with very little flooding. Some of the kobolds have actually set up their own bailing line, basically just throwing buckets of water outside into the ocean.
You
Kobold
sure we're
is-
afloat if we're leaking?
Kobold's gonna say out loud. Anyone not bailing water or doing essential tasks is tasked with helping fix the boat.
The few that are still around, as they'd kind of gone off to do their own thing, have looked at you for a moment and nodded. The older one amongst them starting to give out orders in Draconic. All of them really just speak Draconic at this point. And they eventually do start getting it all figured out. But no real meaningful progress is made just yet.
Kobold's gonna take a moment to look over the horizon and stuff to see if he sees any falling capsules or if any new capsules were added anywhere, just to see if Sully had come up.
Okay, go ahead and make a perception check, please.
Sorry, the large map. It is quite a big map.
I can make it smaller.
I can also make it. I got that.
Well, for sure, you don't see any falling capsules. And really, yeah, that's about it. You know that it's about 8 o'clock in the evening. The sun is just starting to dip below the horizon. The current date is... this is roughly... Actually, no, that would be incorrect. It is currently that date. Roughly 2.5 weeks after your initial meeting with Ayastal, there was the brief traveling to recover the last piece, and then your very hurried trip back here. Your fight with the numerous shamblers, and now with the Titans, and yeah. It's about 2 weeks from the Harvest Festival sort of time. And that's pretty much all that you're aware of at the moment. There's no other vessels around you at this point. However, in the distance, something you may have missed because you were sort of being tossed around so violently. There is a slowly rising column of smoke and debris far, far off to the west. It seems to be in roughly the same place where you dove down into the cavern.
Mm.
Cooper and I are below decks looking for somewhere secluded. Probably just go into the cart mansion and use the normal door there.
Okay.
I'm taking Eleanor to a isolated room.
Captain's quarters, perhaps?
I'm following.
Yeah. He would take him to Istal's.
All right.
Cobalt follows.
Huh.
So, as you enter the cart, Gestalt is there with his hands behind his back, just inside the entryway. As he enters, he gives a slight bow, and as he says to you, "I couldn't help but overhear that there was quite the commotion outside. Is everything all right?"
I will give him a brief synopsis of everything that went on. I do mean everything.
I see. Are you sure that Master Sully will not be joining us again?
We still don't know what's going on with Sully.
I see. I suppose that will fit the bill. As he reaches into the small satchel, the leather satchel he keeps near his side. He reaches around, sort of rifling through it for a brief moment before retrieving a small sealed envelope. There's a nondescript wax seal. There doesn't seem to be any text on the envelope itself. I've been instructed to leave this for Master Rock. Is he with you at the moment?
He is outside the mansion at this time. We have a new... Well, I guess I kind of explained the lizard folk anyways. He's outside dealing with the lizard folk right now.
I see. I shall go give this to him. I don't believe anything is currently troubling me with the mansion at the moment. Although I will say that in the recent, perhaps 15 or 20 minutes or so, I guess the halls themselves have calmed down. I'm not sure whether that's your doing or not. But
what do you mean?
Something I can't quite put my finger on, but it's a feeling that I have.
Okay.
As
well, thank
he
you for your good work.
Gives a nod and a bow and places the envelope back in his satchel as he wobbles and clanks out the exit. Still very dignified for a heavy limp. All right. So, Cobalt, Rock, and Eleanor. You find yourselves inside the captain's quarters. A very different atmosphere than when you found yourself in here. Than when you found yourselves in here before, aside from Eleanor, of course. As you lead him into the small, what looks to be a planning table off to the side of the room, and kind of plop him down in a chair. Well, plop him down. I mean, he's very, very tall for you, Rock.
I think I can walk the way. I think I can. Just point me at a chair, I guess.
Cole's gonna hold Rock's tail as he follows.
All right.
I point them, and then I'm gonna climb on top of the table.
All right, you do so. You kind of almost slip as you stand on one of the stacks of very thin stacks of papers, and kind of just crumple under your feet as you gain your footing again.
I'm gonna take out a sheet of parchment paper and get ready to write.
All right.
I'm gonna say, first, your name.
I am Infel Moonblood.
Cole, right? What's the
Won't you
last
cut
thing you
out?
remember?
What?
No, I wasn't saying anything. What was the last thing you remember?
Recent memory tells me I was going to a town to seek a blacksmith capable of forging a holy avenger. I don't remember too much after coming to the town. So I suppose that would be my most recent memory.
Cole's gonna write all this down. It was-
Okay.
Can I do an inside check on that?
Sure.
Wow.
With that number in mind, are you telling the truth?
He is telling the truth, however, you can see that more memories are coming to.
So, since we know your real name now, or whatever the name you just gave us, can you change that on your character
Yes.
so I don't forget it?
I'm gonna just look at him, dead is, and say more.
More. Alright. I was down there somewhere, and there was meat in every direction. And they fed me to a wall, I think, after defeating me with sheer mass. My equipment sundered completely. And then it was dark and hot, and I was prodded from every angle.
Couple times. From what we know, that was correct. Or that seems right.
Seems to be correct as far as you know.
I think there were other people, but I couldn't see very well.
Do you remember anything between being stuck in the wall and being waking up in the water?
I woke up. I think I did. Whatever was holding me let me wake up for a moment. And I thought I saw someone familiar. But that's so long ago.
So, Cobalt remembers the story that Sully told him because he has perfect memory of anything that he's seen or heard for a month. And he's gonna be like, "Oh yeah, was it this guy?" And use the conjuration thing to create a little statue of Sully.
All right. It's about the size of maybe an orange or so, and it seems to capture a fairly realistic depiction of Sully. And to you, Infel, it doesn't seem like someone you know for a little while until you really look at it, and eventually it sort of just clicks. I mean, you remember him from a long time ago. He looked quite a bit different back then.
It can't be. He was so little back then. But the face is sort of the same. And those little nubby horns. And his eyes. Yeah, that's the same expression. Is it? Sully.
Cobalt's gonna be a bit sad and say he's missing.
Rock's gonna
missing.
point to the little statue with his tail and say, "Where's burnt corn?"
Why are you calling him that? It's
Rock's
Sully.
not. Cobalt says Rock's not good with.
I see. Okay then. Burnt corn. I don't think I was fully conscious for whatever was happening, but I don't believe I did anything.
Long
At
story
about-
short. Oh, sorry.
At about this time, there's a series of almost polite knocks on the door.
Almost
You can
polite.
see, yeah, you can see through the rough stained glass leading outwards that there's a shadow of someone relatively tall outside. There's a sort
Cobalt's
of
gonna-
small iron banded window leading outside.
Cobalt's gonna open the door with Mage Hand.
Standing outside is Gestalt. He gives a short bow, immediately starting. I apologize if I've interrupted anything, but I feel that this is rather important. Master Rock, I have a letter for you. As he reaches into his satchel, taking out a blank envelope that's been sealed with a bit of wax. The wax seal itself is nondescript. It's just a sort of a blank stamp.
I'm gonna hop off the table and walk over to it and grab the letter.
Alright. He gives it to you and he says, I was instructed to give this to you by Master Sully should this occur. I
Can
wish
you
you the best.
Can you say that last part again? My audio cut out.
I was instructed to give this to you by Master Sully should this occur. I wish you the best. As he gives another bow and starts to leave the room.
I nod to him.
Alright.
Now Cobalt's gonna jump on the desk. And he's gonna start drawing info.
Rock's gonna open up the letter and probably later.
Okay.
Probably in private. He's had a bad day.
Kind of figured.
He's gonna look to the white handbag and he's gonna tilt his head as a thought just came a little like later than it should have, and he's gonna ask him, what date is it?
The date? I'm not sure. Isn't it 1510? Is it summer? I think it was summer. Yes, it was very warm outside.
From your memory, to the best of your abilities, Rock, you think it's probably not 1510, but you think it's 1512. Cobalt, it is the 10th day, or the 10th of Elaine. Basically, July.
Cobalt's gonna relay the actual date without looking up, or I guess he's looking up back and forth between his paper and info. So yeah,
What?
I'm sorry, August.
That's 2 years ago. 2 years. Wait, I'm not dead, am I? If this is my eternal reward, I feel cheated.
I want to axe at him, but like in a way that it just lands right in front of him.
out of combat, I want to say, I don't know, a ship full of obedient little kobolds doesn't sound like a bad afterlife to me.
A sinking ship, if I heard correctly.
They're fixing it. It is out of combat. It is out of care.
Hmm.
But yeah, as soon as that axe lands, Rock would say, if you were dead, you wouldn't. Or how did you react to the axe being thrown?
He seemed momentarily startled, and then a flash of anger.
He's gonna say, if you were dead, you would have no emotions, and he's just gonna recall his axe.
As it digs itself back out of the wood of the floor and just flies back towards Rock's hand.
Is that how it works? I've seen spirits that soar quite violently and colorfully before.
They're not completely dead.
I see. Alright. So, I am very much alive. I suppose spirits don't puke either. Yes, that sounds correct. Alright. I'm very likely presumed dead at this point. Missing in action for 2 years. Christ. Well, I suppose there you have it. I am an infel, paladin of the Ancient Order. At your service, I suppose.
Alright, Dava, can I roll drawing now?
In the last
Sure.
decade or so, indie games have risen to a new level of.
That
You want to use a lucky point?
I don't think I have. I have 2. I'm gonna use one. Let me use the 10.
Okay.
I'm
Alright.
gonna point to myself. Well, I'll wait till you're done.
So, and you were drawing info?
Yes.
This piece is sort of ended up as a caricature. In reality, the sort of crest on the back of his head is much smaller than one you drew. But you know, since it's such a prominent aspect, you drew it rather large. Otherwise, it seems to be fairly well proportioned, and all in all, very solid quality drawing.
He's gonna put his sketchbook away proudly.
All right.
I have no more questions.
Alright then. Who are you?
I'm gonna point to myself and go rock rock, and then point to Kobo and go hatchling.
I'm Cobalt.
Oh. You do seem young. You have magical abilities, don't you?
Yes.
Do you have mending?
Rifle. He scrolls through a spell list on his tablet. I do.
Can you fix the ship?
Stone tablet.
Mending goes very slowly, but yeah, I'll help out. I was gonna help after this.
Oh. Alright. Just curious. Why did you save me?
Because Sully risked his life to save you.
And then what happened?
We don't know. He's gone.
Oh. Oh. I missed that little fish boy.
Thing. I guess Cobalt's gonna start heading down and go to the help repair the ship.
I'm gonna tell Cobalt to take handbag here to a room so he can get some rest. Rock just wants to be left alone in Estell's room.
Should I leave also?
Cobalt's gonna hold out his hand to Infel.
I suppose so. Right. Off I go. Good luck to you. Rock, rock.
Cobalt's gonna grab his hand since he didn't take it.
Oh, well, I mean, like he was gonna reach down and take it, like.
Oh, I thought
Okay.
you were like leaving both of
No, he was leaving with Cobalt.
them. Okay. And then
So,
he's gonna.
Tiny one. You are all kobolds, I notice.
There used to be others and a dragonborn, but I don't know if they're still alive.
Ah, that explains it. Okay.
So like he's probably gonna be holding on to Infel's finger.
Like a thumb or like an index finger.
Probably index.
How old are you exactly?
Cobalt is 6, and then puffs his chest. Technically an adult.
You kobolds mature very quickly, then.
Much to the displeasure of some.
No, it's not that we mature very quickly. It's that we're just considered an adult that early because, well, we'd be lucky
Short
to make it to
lifespan.
12. No, we've got
Exactly.
a long lifespan. It's just, we're more likely to get killed before we actually reach very far.
We have a long lifespan, but a short life expectancy.
Alright, so Kobolds, what happens now?
Well, I don't have any spells left for today, so I'll just walk you to the room.
You wouldn't happen to have a holy crest on hand, would you?
Actually, do I have something like that? I have a lot of random items.
Well, you need something very specific.
There's also the cargo hold down below. So,
The
and
what?
from what you saw, there is tons of just random stuff in there. Household supplies, some very very small limited library. There's bound to be something like that.
Hmm. Okay, I guess we'll go there first then.
For that, Raku and Eric's, you guys are going to the Forgotten City.
Mm-hmm.
At the current time, the mansion is actually completely empty due to the fact that all the kobolds are outside doing various things with the ship. As you find the normal door, again, it offers a good bit of resistance before finally sliding open. You enter and find that the door has actually taken a relatively normal spot to emerge at. It's very slightly crooked, almost leaning inwards at a slight angle. And it's roughly maybe 6 or 7 inches off the ground, so you kind of step down into the hidden city. Currently inside the hidden city, it is actually daytime. Very, very nearly nighttime, though. Perhaps 8 or 9 o'clock. There is a very heavy smell of like a plant pollen, as well as what appears to be the sort of fading remnants of a cookout of some sort. What are you laughing at, Zim?
What's going through my head? Ladies and gentlemen, we are on descent approach to our destination airport. The weather is sunny with spots of clouds, and just what it reminded me of.
Don't make me
Sunny
go.
with spots of clouds and a chance of ending barbecue.
I couldn't help it. That's what it sounded like. Anyways, I'm gonna look around.
1 at 10 gusting 25, temperature 29er, dew point 13, altimeter 3002. How do you feel about that?
I think I'll leave it up to Ray to say whether that's accurate or not.
It sounds rather normal. It's within normal limits.
Yeah. It's kind
Was
of
it-
windy, but
Is
that's
it
not bad at all.
3001? Wait, what did you say the wind was?
The wind was 351 at 13 gusting 25.
Yeah, that's a bit much, but that should be okay.
High pressure
Let's-
day, nice and sunny.
With that wind, that I would assume visibility should be unlimited, right? Should
Visibility
clear
10
out.
miles.
Yeah, so unlimited. Is there any rime ice?
Probably not. It's a rather warm day.
Okay, I think we're done with it.
Yeah.
I guarantee you, none of them know what we're talking about.
Complete
Cloudy,
silence.
It wasn't such a good day.
Actually, I've got a sound effect for this. I've got the
That's ATC
perfect.
versus a pilot.
I've got.
You stop that right now.
All
You
right, yeah, that's
started
fair.
this.
that is true. You asked
You
him to say
prompted
something and
this.
asked me to verify it.
Continuing on, you are now in the Forgotten City. What are you guys doing?
I'm gonna look around.
All right,
First off,
think-
I'm gonna look for Jeremy.
Jeremy.
Yes.
Currently, he's not in the stall where he usually is, inside of the. Oh, what is it called? I need to find the. Where is he usually in? He is usually inside the Handworks Guild, although today he is not actually.
Okay, because I had a couple of bones to pick with him. He's probably avoiding us.
Yeah, it's probably exactly what's going on.
Well, I'm gonna go find Shuluth then.
Shuluth is actually outside at the moment. He seems to be using a bit of his magics to tend to the various vines and ferns that are growing outside of his stone temple house thing. As you approach, he sort of clears a bit of dirt and vegetation from his working clothes. They seem to be a very well-made pair of like peasant's overalls, along with a straw hat. As he sort of wipes down his pallid purple forehead. It's good to see you. It's been quite a decent time since you visited last.
Yeah. A lot has gone on.
Yeah?
Definitely.
What so?
I'll go ahead and give him the same synopsis I did to Gestalt.
Uh-huh. I see. And you're sure that Sully is gone, yes?
As far as we know, that is correct. We don't know for sure, though.
And all the rest of you are all right. That's good. I can't really think of any places to look at the top of my head. Sort of dimension shifting may be my forte, but very little information exists for those who sort of fall outside of it all, I guess. For the people who sort of make mistakes with these techniques, they really don't, return ever. So, but if you do find him, it would be an excellent learning experience.
Well,
Also,
we're...
whoever's phone is going off, we can hear that.
Yeah. Right now, we don't know where to begin with him. The other two are back on... Well, we now have an airship, for starters.
Oh!
And we were hoping that you could possibly help us, either you or find somebody that can help us repair and get it back in fully functioning order.
Is the airship of any special design, materials? You mentioned earlier it belonged to a pirate. Before anything, I really would I would try to get rid of any identifying markings. I know for a fact that it being a pirate vessel may quite definitely rile a few feathers.
I have a
It is
question.
a very good point. Thank you. I did not think of that. What's up, Cobalt?
Why did you have to explain what happened?
Good point. Why don't you just look at my memories to see what it looks like? Because I'm not that familiar with this stuff yet.
Very well.
It probably
Is it
tires
gonna-
him out.
As he sort of wipes his brow again and reaches out to you, taking his leather glove off. His slightly sweaty hands sort of envelop your head, and you basically black out for a good 2 minutes. As the trance finishes, he seems to just think for a good while. So, you all fought off this eldritch thing which was poising to reclaim the surface in an enchanted suit of armor tens of stories high.
That was included in the synopsis, but yes.
Well, yes, but I didn't believe you.
Hearing about something
You didn't believe
experienced
us?
Hearing about something experienced that are two far different things.
Yes.
Fair enough.
Yes, as embarrassing as it may be, I really don't know where your friend might have gone. There's quite a few sort of in-between realms that have not fully been explored or documented that he's possibly in. I could certainly try to put some feelers out for him, but I can't guarantee anything, especially considering just my lack of knowledge on this whole ordeal.
Could you not cast a scrying spell to try to find him?
Could certainly try, but if he's, as you said, disappeared from this realm, it could be interesting. I'll try to do so.
Eric, I
Okay.
don't suppose you have an item of his or not, because that could help with the spell.
Okay, back up. First off, I did not come to Shuluth to ask him to help us find Sully. I honestly assumed he wouldn't be able to.
Oh, okay.
I don't know why there's a lot of focus on it. I mean, yeah, it would make sense, but I personally assumed that he wouldn't be able to help.
The glare.
It's just one of those. He disappeared. I didn't think Shuluth would be able to help, and well, I'm kind of right here, but I mostly came to him primarily to ask about airship repairs and such, and that's really just it.
Well, then ask him about that, my man.
I did. And you
It
gave me a
kind of
response.
spiraled into that. Anyways,
The point of the mind reading thing was for him to see the materials of the airship.
yes, of course.
But I mean, I was perfectly fine with him grabbing everything else as well. That's okay.
Distracted by the Marvel movie level quality of what just occurred. I'm sorry, I forgot
that's
to
all
look
I
at the
really
boat.
have to
was
say
it?
in regards to your friend. I can certainly try, but I can't guarantee anything. In regards to the airship itself, seems to be rather mundane construction aside from the various machinery holding it up. I advise perhaps going to any of the large shipbuilders on the coast. They would definitely be able to help with that, but there's very few places that can adequately deal with airships. I know one of them is Mirabar, since they're rather landlocked. I believe they've set up quite a shipbuilding industry in the past decade or so. believe that's the only place off the top of my head that may be able to service this one. Um, if not them, then you can perhaps try to find the people who built this ship and get help from them. There's quite a few different designs out there, and very few of them have interchangeable parts. With Mirabar, they're quite... Just their level of expertise leads me to believe that they'll possibly be able to scrap together a solution. As from what I saw, the landing of the airship seemed to be more of a controlled crash than a landing.
All right.
That's
well,
what you needed to know.
Yes, thank you very much.
Wait, he would know exactly what you wanted to know.
Yes, he would. And yet he still derailed it by going off about Sully. But
Well, you can't read his mind
he still derailed it.
for his own reasons. Anyways, let us continue. Oh God.
Okay.
Is that a kobold?
No, that is potatoes.
I barely heard what it's.
Potato Gladys saying, "Bird, kill it. It's evil."
Oh yeah.
Yeah. That whole part in Portal 2 was great. Anyways, I believe that's all you needed to know. Are you going to stay any longer? Or is it back to the...
You suddenly remember Cobalt asking if you could get him any book on interdimensional travel.
Why would
Like
I
telling you to
suddenly
ask him.
remember that?
Did you tell
So
him
you
that
don't- so
before
you
he
don't-
left?
I did. Please do that.
You can come to the city on your own time, Kobold.
One of
They're
our
already there.
compatriots, Cobalt, has asked for a book on... What was it, Raku? Interdimensional travel, I think?
I have no idea. Are we interdimensionally traveling?
I have no idea why he wants it. He just asked for it.
Who asked for it?
Cobalt.
Oh, I wasn't there for that.
We're still next to Shuluth.
I don't know, Shluth, can't you read his mind and figure out what he's looking for?
Oof. He's not here.
There's the book that might fit your request over at Zariel's tower.
Sorry,
Yes,
my
so
mind is kind of weighed right now. I got a bone to pick with Jeremy.
Coincidentally, Jeremy is not in at the moment, but I saw that you already went over there, and you should know that by now.
Yeah, we do. Thank you for your
I
help.
don't
as
know where he
always.
is. Yes, as he points across the small stream that runs through the town, almost over near the forest. Zariel lives in that tower right there. If you're nice enough, he might spare the book for you.
Thank you very much. So I saw it looks like you guys had a barbecue.
Ah, yes, the...
They barbecued a Titan.
no. The Temple of Broance, they hold a feast like that once per month.
Temple
It's quite a
Bromance?
nice occasion, and I'm still sort of working the food off at the moment.
All right. Well, when's the next one? We'll have to come for it.
My memory is serving. Actually, they're having a special one on the Harvest Tide. 2 weeks from now, if you're willing to come back.
Yeah, it'll be good to come here and just relax instead of coming with needing random stuff. Well, thank you very much. We will be on our way. Hopefully the boat hasn't sunk while we've been here.
It's true. Although if you're using a door on the boat, I suggest we would find that out rather soon, as we might have a fountain in the middle of town.
It's in our mansion, so I don't know if it would actually leak in here.
Fair enough.
I'm kind of
Is
hoping
he-
that the mansion would at least be safe.
As he puts on his glove or he puts his gloves back on and continues his work, sort of levitating a trowel from a bucket nearby and digging up some weeds.
All right. We'll head
Doing
over
now?
to the tower.
All right. As you are making your way over to the tower, you see inside one of the windows a flash of pink light as what looks to be a firework streams out of the window, spiraling into the forest before there's a brief period of silence. After which it explodes with quite a loud noise, but not the one you expected. It is instead a very loud cat's meow that just echoes throughout the town and through the forest.
What the hell was that? I'm
Never
gonna
seen
look.
anything like this.
Huh?
You've never seen anything like that in your life.
I'm gonna look around and see if anybody seems alarmed.
Nobody really seems to be out at the moment. Although looking behind you, you can see that Shuluth seems to have. It seems that he saw it, and after such, he kind of shrugs, shaking his head as he returns to his work.
Shuluth? Wow, what was that?
As he yells over to you. Don't worry about it. He is rather eccentric.
Oh, joy. Okay. Well, I will be a bit more cautious about walking over, keeping an eye out for anything else like that.
All right. Can you both give me perception checks?
Obviously, that was a lore wizard modifying a fireball to do thunder damage. Come on, guys, it's simple.
I was just okay. Yeah. There.
You see that some of the cobblestones leading up to his manor are marked differently. They seem to have small runic inscriptions on them. As you, using a bit of common sense, decide to not step on them. As you arrive at the base of the tower, you're greeted by a iron-reinforced wooden door with a heavy knocker.
I will use the knocker.
As you grab on the knocker and try to like swing it backwards and then forwards again, you hear a yelp of indignance as the door from in between two slats of wood sprouts a pair of eyes. As he stares at you expectantly.
I'm gonna lean over to Raku. Do you see eyes at the door?
just below the knocker.
Now, are
the
they-
wood actually sort of splits open, forming a crude mouth, as with a rather almost rustic voice, the door starts to speak. Now, normally it's polite to say hello before grabbing onto someone's nose like that.
Okay, that's much better because I guess out of character, I was about to do a Three Stooges like eye poke to it. I'm gonna turn to the voice and say, hello, sorry, we didn't know that this door was animated.
Can't tell if that's a compliment or not. I figure
Yes,
I'm
it
really
is.
lively. What do you want?
We would like passage,
we were
good
sent
sir.
by Shaluth to retrieve a book that was said to reside within this tower, and we would like entry.
You can see it sort of think over what you said before telling you. All right, I'll tell the big man.
Thank you very much.
As it seems that he's preparing to do something, but instead just yells out. Where is it? There it is.
Listen to Doma laughing at his
Zerio!
own.
You can hear very, very faintly somewhere upstairs just some grumpy old man saying, "What? Some two little skinks are here to see you." What? Two skinks, little lizards, here to see you. You hear a bit of shuffling upstairs. I can't tell, but I think he's on the way down. As a very awkward period of silence ensues as the door stares at you, unblinking. Somewhere behind the door you can hear the shuffling and the clap of sandals against stone.
I will just shift in place awkwardly. So, how's the weather been?
I'm trying to think of door puns. I can't though.
Your pun
Which
foo
make like a
isn't
door
strong
and
enough.
shut it.
The eyes sort of swivel towards you. I'll lock you out. I'll do it.
Say it's been humid, so my allergies up. I've been swelling real bad.
I was sticking to wood puns too, but I couldn't. Oh, never mind. The weather's been okay. I'm sorry.
Here,
There's
Dova.
eventually there's a
I will give you this, Dova. You can have this. There you go, Dova.
the door eventually sort of creaks open. The eyes themselves rolling as standing before you is a high elven man, about maybe 5 feet tall, with a extremely long and beard. It's white and it seems to be holding quite a few pens, as well as a wand and what looks to be a bird's nest. He's wearing a stereotypical pointed hat, along with blue wizard robes with the stars on them, along with some gold trim. He seems to be wearing some fluffy sandals. What is it? Hello?
Hi, how are you today?
What day is it?
The 10th day of the lion.
Huh. I suppose it is. Who are you?
I am Eric's. This is my brother Raku. We were sent over here by Shaluth to retrieve a book you might have on what was it again? Dimensional traveling.
I think I have something like that, but you'll have to give me something in return.
Absolutely.
Wonderful.
What do you have in mind?
First and foremost, I'm looking for some alchemical ingredients for some of my spells. First and foremost, being a handful of hen's teeth and a whiff of cloud. The dark and stormy variety, if you could.
I'm
And he gives you a rather sort of not very toothy grin, as a few of the teeth are missing.
I'm not sure how we're supposed to gather either of
Yes,
those.
yes, yes. I won't go over the details with you, but be sure to bring me that, and I can get you the copy that I have.
But we don't know how.
What was the first one?
Hen's teeth.
Hen's teeth.
I assume he means chickens, and they don't have teeth.
Give him any teeth.
I don't think Rock will be very happy with that.
Wait a minute, you're not even there, Cobalt.
Rock's the only one of us that has teeth available to just give. We don't know how to gather teeth from a chicken.
You don't?
They
Where
don't
did you grow
have
up?
teeth.
He looks at you, almost like twisting his head, confused.
They
What
have
kind of backwards chickens have you dealt with?
the normal kind.
No, normal to me.
They have beaks.
Yes?
You want their beaks?
No, the teeth.
But they don't
It-
have teeth.
It doesn't matter. Just bring me some of the teeth and I'll let you have the book for a while.
But they don't have teeth.
Fine, fine, fine. I'll think of something else for you to do.
Oh no.
You can see the beard kind of stretch up and start to scratch at its own chin. See, as he taps his feet. Looking down, you can see that the fluffy slippers aren't actually slippers, but they seem to be ducks. Ducks which seem to have just molded around his feet and are still alive. Every so often they'll let out a small quack and like peck at something on the ground. Ah! He snaps his fingers. I've always been meaning to test this out in a different area. I think you'll do the job. He sort of twists around. He looks towards somewhere directly above him. He seems to notice something and then walks towards it. And by towards it, I mean he walks diagonally upwards.
What?
It must be a duck.
After a few moments, he returns back, and he holding a small vial. Inside the vial, it looks to be a sort of swirling potion containing a healthy amount of hair, as well as what look to be those sort of twirling helicopter seeds from trees. This is a potion that I have been working on for a good while now, and I will gladly reward you with that book should you go test it out there in the world.
Sure.
If you... Yes. And once you come back, please do tell me how it went. I'll be
You
able to
have just
watch
the hostage for it.
watch the results.
Okay, yeah.
Yes, I think that will be all.
Yeah, okay.
Wonderful. And he hands the potion to you. You
Uh,
notice that it's fluctuating between freezing cold and almost scalding hot, about once every 10 seconds. The color itself seems to be sort of a magenta, bordering on maroon.
I will put it away in my bag of holding. And thank you very much, sir, for the assistance. I'm sure our party member will be very happy to test it and get his hands on the book. I bid you good day.
He nods again. He nods. The wizard hat almost falling off of his head, but the beard actually kind of moves up and pushes it back on the top. Good to get a few good volunteers. Good day. As he doesn't close the door himself, but his beard does it for him. And as the door closes, those eyes sort of reappear, stating very coldly to you, "No soliciting."
All right. Well, thank you for your time, Mr. Door. I'm sorry I didn't catch your name, but thank you.
Could the door's name be Professor Oak?
Oh my God.
He's not a professor. What is his name?
I don't know. You're the one that made him, or it. We don't even know if it is a him. Don't assume the door's gender.
Well, the door doesn't seem to say anything else, just sort of grunting. He doesn't seem very talkative anymore, as the DM has neglected to find a good enough pun name for a door.
All right. Well, I guess we will head off. I do want to stop by the bazaar, or however you call it.
Okay.
You know, the shopping area. Take a look around.
Jack. His name is Jack.
Sure.
Lumberjack.
That's good. So, in the bazaar, there only really seems to be one shop open at the moment. It seems that with the festival going on and it being very close to evening, a lot of them have closed up their doors and have sort of shut down for the evening. Although one does remain. It seems to be the spice shop, carrying a very definite Far East vibe. The shopkeeper, who's currently sweeping, sees you enter as he says, how are you?
Good.
Are you looking for anything in specific?
No, mostly just browsing. What do you have here?
Oh, we have a very wide selection of foreign spices. Are you looking for something to cook with? Perhaps some incense? I have everything for any taste here.
Well, I'm not actually looking for it, but I think we'll be back because we've got a couple of cooks out elsewhere that aren't here with us right now, but they would probably be interested.
What might they be interested in, do you know?
I have no idea. He cooks, we eat, and that's basically how it goes.
I'll try to keep an open mind then.
Cobalt uses a lot of garlic.
Fish,
do come
if
back,
you have
though.
any fish.
Okay, we will be back. Thank you much. I
Of
guess
course.
we'll leave the hidden city.
Rock. Finally
Carefully, of
coming back.
course, because of the the key burning
Yeah.
stuff.
Rock, you find yourself alone inside the captain's quarters of Ayastal.
I know you have the letter, but if I remember correctly, you also have a strong box to open up.
that only he knows about.
Yeah, this is out of character. I'm just
Yeah.
making sure you're.
I remember. First he's gonna open up that letter from Sully.
Inside is it still surprises dude that you're able to read all this stuff.
Mhm.
You're not even reading the letters themselves, you just sort of understand the meaning. It says, "Hey, so since I can see you can read somehow, and since it looks like things are starting to get intense with our mutual friend getting the last piece and us getting discovered by whatever enemy we have, I wanted to leave you this. It probably won't do much for you, but keep it to yourself or share if you want. I'll ramble forever if I don't get myself in order. There's a short space before it continues. Anyway, if you're getting this, then something happened to me and I'm not with you anymore. Sorry. Guess I got carried away. Sorry, I did want to fight beside you. Always. If you haven't figured it out, don't worry about it. It's not that important anymore. The thing is that just gotta keep living and be strong like you always have. I'm worried for Ayastal. She's gonna do something that'll kill her. She probably believes it's her purpose, but it's shit, and I'm going to stop it. I told her I'll find a way around sacrificing myself, even when she asked if it was for the greater good, and I'm sure as hell going to stop her from sacrificing herself. I've just got to be ready. If she's not there, then crap, I messed up. There's nothing I can say or do. You can have my stuff, I guess. My teeth, too. And take care of Cobalt, would you? He's, I don't know how he's gonna handle this. Signed, Sully. I'll copy and paste it into the chat.
Okay. Alright, give me a second.
Dova, you missed a golden opportunity. The doormat didn't
What?
talk.
So what did you leave behind, or you didn't say?
He left behind the letter, along with whatever was left in the airship itself. I don't have a list of everything that was in the airship.
Okay. So he's gonna tuck the letter, into like his bag. Realize that there was an actual tear coming down his face, and just kind of look at it confused. And then he's shake it off. Still trying to figure out what that thing was coming from his face was.
There's no rain in here.
My eyes are just wet. And he's just gonna sit there in silence for a second before he's gonna look for that lockbox.
Alright. After you sort of solemnly look through the captain's quarters, you eventually do find a small lockbox about the size of a shoebox in one of the lower shelves on a bookshelf nearby. It's fairly heavy, and the combination on the front as you sort of click it in, it's a 5-number sort of wheel lock sort of system. And as you place in all zeros, it clicks open. There's a faint golden glow from the inside.
I'm gonna look
Out
in the
of character.
box.
Sully, I got a bone to pick with you.
Go ahead.
All zeros? What the hell what is the point of even having a lock on it if you're just gonna make such a easy little combination for it?
Come on, it should have been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I mean, that's the
You
combination an
you had
idiot
a
puts
bone
on
to
his
pick with
luggage.
me? Yeah, you
What?
said you had a bone to pick with me,
No, I said Sully.
Sully.
No, he said Sully.
Yeah, so what?
Sully
The
didn't
box
make
is-
that.
I thought
Yeah.
Dova picked this lock out.
Yeah, I had nothing to do with this
Stall's
box.
This is Stall's box.
Why is he getting into Iastall's box?
Because Stall gave him the combination to the box.
Yeah.
Also,
Fine.
at least this way, keep in mind, this way Rock doesn't remember any.
Yeah, it,
So-
it was simple.
Inside is a small lever. It seems to actually be glowing with a faint, like a dim golden glow.
I'm gonna do detect magic on it.
Okay. A
Magic
very,
attack.
very faint illusion spell.
Hmm. I'm gonna grab the lever.
All right. It's about the size of like one of those small golf pencils.
Hmm.
Seems to be solid.
Was that the only thing in the box?
Yes.
Hmm. He's gonna ask Sora if she has an idea what this is.
Sora still seems to be sort of looking for Sully.
Okay. He's just gonna and because knowing Iastall, she's way smarter than he is, so he's just gonna tuck it away in his bag.
You're not gonna pull the lever?
The strongbox actually seems to be attached to the bookshelf.
Okay. Is the lever attached in the box, or is it just a random lever?
It is attached to the box.
Oh, I'm gonna pull the lever.
You-
Revealing
I-
a photo of SpongeBob at the Christmas party. Sorry,
I was thinking it.
I know. I had to say it.
There's the crackle of some sort of spell activating. The bookshelf swings open slowly. As you sort of look, there's a brief moment where you can see the exterior wall, the hull of the boat itself, before a shimmering portal sort of etches itself into the wall and pushes outwards, leading into a room of resplendent glory in your eyes.
Is it a room full of teeth?
Here, it's a treasure room.
Almost.
Almost. He's gonna walk into the room.
The room itself is about 20 feet wide and 50 feet deep. The walls are made of smooth stone, and every so often along the ceiling there's a small floating orb of light. However, that's not the exciting part. The exciting part is what is in the room, because there is currently there's a lot of fucking gold in here. There's platinum coins, gold coins, silver, electrum, all sorts of various coins from some you don't even recognize. There's golden goblets, there's chandeliers, treasures of all sorts. There's shimmering weapons, and in the back there's actually a gilded chariot. No horses though. I actually get the exact number for you.
Okay. A smile of pride of like flashes of like stall.
Dove, I have a quick question.
Yeah.
Remind me, did we start from where you left off talking to us, or where we left off when the stream cut out?
We left off where the stream cut out to begin with.
Okay.
Gems. Instruments. Okay, so there are, and this is a very rough estimate, about 35,000 gold worth of coins here. And that's not counting the various jewels, gems, and other things.
It's a pirate's hoard, to be sure.
Yes.
I think Dova is feeling
Are you-
outdone by Rika.
Silly guys, it's a dragon's horde. Come on.
Also true. A pirate dragon.
Okay.
What?
You got it. Okay. If you want to continue, I just gotta give me a minute.
I wonder if there's a magic item.
Very
Yeah,
likely.
Is the type magic still going?
I would do detect magic on the shiny weapons.
They're definitely magical.
Mhm.
Do I see a bow in here?
Raku, you're still in
That
Forgotten
is
City.
true.
No one sees anything but Rock.
Rock
Okay.
is the only one who can see this right now.
That's that's my girl.
So what's the verdict on shiny magic weapons? I might have missed it. My mic cut
There.
out for a bit.
They're magical.
How many?
There's a glaive. Seems to be a hearty amount of cutlasses for some strange reason. There is a strange sort of it kind of looks like a spear, but half of it's metal and it's very weirdly shaped. You don't quite know what to make of it, but it seems to be hollow in the middle of that metal part, and there's a bit of like mechanical parts towards where the sort of the wooden, maybe a hand grip. It looks contoured to fit the hand. So
Is there any armor?
there actually is. It's a suit of plate armor that's fitted to a stand. It seems to be, from what you can guess, it's probably fitted for Ayastal.
Oh yeah, of course.
Plate armor, you say?
Yes, it looks to be very slightly gilded, There's the gold trim, but there's no sort of flamboyant decorations on it. It's rather minimalist on its sort of opulence, I guess.
Yeah, she's not one for super flashiness.
It might fit on
It's not
Infel though.
hard.
Hmm.
I don't know. It's fitted for her. The proportions are slightly different.
If it's magical, it probably won't.
If it's magical, it will reshape to the wearer.
Oh, right.
That
Can I
is-
tell what the armor does?
It is hardened in some way. This is all as you
You
can
would-
really tell.
You need an identifier for that.
Additionally, it seems to have some sort of affinity with water in some way.
Hmm. That would make sense. Hmm.
Probably no disadvantage on swimming.
Yeah. Maybe like a +1 too.
She
Maybe
is a
also
pirate,
breathing
she is
underwater?
near water.
Hmm. Okay. Oh. His eyes are sparkling.
Take it, rock.
He's okay. So, as bad as the sound, this is what Rock's gonna do. He's gonna take everything and not tell anybody about it. About
Where are you
anything.
going to fit it?
I got a bag of holding that only has small amounts of teeth in it.
Technically, you'd only be able to fit around 500 gold pieces in there. Technically.
Really?
Around.
Yes.
Yeah, he was going to take all the gold.
Okay. Give me a minute to go through this. I'll have a good list set up for you. But in the meantime, we can finish up what Infel and Cobalt were doing.
Yeah, and his whole reason before moving that is just because of knowing iStyle. He feels like he was given this more for
More for what?
it's like his items now. Like it was bestowed onto him from one warrior to another. Is like his mental process.
Why not just leave it here then? If you can't fit it in the bag.
He's got plans for everything else.
Oh, okay.
So, all right, you guys can do your thing.
Cobalt and Infel. I believe you
Yes.
were making your way below decks. What are you doing now?
I'm taking it apart.
To the cart? Alright.
Now, I'm gonna leave him outside for a second and see how many people are actually in the cart right now. If any.
The population counter when you step in, Cobalt, says 2.
So me
However,
and the
you-
cart itself.
Actually, you hear the awkward shuffling of Gestalt somewhere around the corner.
Okay. I'm gonna call over to him and ask him if he can step out for a bit so we can do a little bit of renovation.
Okay. He nods politely and makes his way towards the door and sort of stands outside.
Alright, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna draw a room for Infel, and then I'm gonna draw another room and hand the paper to him and point to it and say, wait, do we know if he's oh yeah, he asked for a holy symbol, so I guess he's some sort of holy man. And I asked him right there, say, what's the word I'm looking for?
Temple.
Oh, yeah, temple, or I was gonna say
Shrine.
shrine of your devotion. I'm gonna say put it here.
I'll nod and write shrine to saloon.
And I'm gonna put back.
All right.
Also, I'm not explaining at all what any of this does.
So, as sort of the renovations take place, you hear this, basically the sound of general construction work. And when it fades and you head back in, and the faint smell of sawdust and wood glue fills your nostrils.
Alright, and then I take him inside.
All right.
And I'm gonna, I guess, lead him to his room, all while giving him a mini tour on the.
Well, all right. You eventually make your way inside, and get to your room. It looks fairly comfortable. It's not exactly how you wrote it down, but it seems that the mansion has accommodated for it in its own way. The temple itself is fairly sparse, but homely.
And Cobalt's just gonna kind of quietly nod and leave. Somewhat out of character, so calm, quiet. Oh, and he's gonna go to his ritual room where the unfinished golem is. Or, I guess it's, but, yeah. Now,
What are you working on? He's gonna be following Cobalt.
I was working on golem. Is there any leftover stone, Dova?
Yeah, actually.
How much? Is it enough to make, like, I don't know, about the size of a slightly taller humanoid?
What'd you do with that other one you had?
The other one's still there. He's just inactive.
Oh, yes. Leftovers, maybe a small one.
Okay.
Maybe something, the size of a large figurine for you. A lot of it's just very small. It's small stuff that you really couldn't find a place for. Yeah.
Well, I mean,
A lot of
I
dust,
guess
a lot of gravel.
a combination of smashing stone and mending can pretty much make stone of any different shape, right? That's what we've been doing.
Yeah.
I'm gonna repurpose the arm off the golem. That
Okay.
golem was pretty much a test. And I'm going to start to work on a humanoid.
All right.
And
So-
that's gonna consume my time for quite a bit.
Something like that, I'd say maybe 3 or 4 weeks. Now that you're
Really?
making it on your own instead of something that was already made and basically working before you put it back together.
Huh.
That's true. I was about to say, it only took like, what, 6 days for the big one?
That was all put together and you had assistance from Sully and the tuner. Anyways,
I mean, I still have the... Yeah.
Infel, what are you doing? You still don't have clothes at the moment.
That's fine. Lizard men are pretty comfortable in their skin.
Scales.
Though
Scales.
he is around more. Has been around more civilized company for a while, but this is sort of not too bad. So I suppose
It's
he'll
like-
go to his shrine and begin his meditation.
It's like camping, right? Different.
Recommune.
You feel the warm presence of Saloon sort of wash over you, a very calm, almost sort of maybe a cooling sensation even. But you feel much more calm now. Things feel a bit more stable. So what are you guys doing inside the um the
Hidden
hidden
city.
city? Sorry, jeez.
I'm assuming we're making our way out, right?
We said so.
Oh, okay.
As you get to the portal, it disappears. You're about maybe 20 feet away as you see it sort of flicker for a moment, and with a small popping noise disappear.
All right. Well, that's new.
Oh joy, what happened?
Oh, cause the mansion.
Well, yeah,
Cobalt's not really-
that's... Yeah.
Cobalt's not really thinking clearly. He kind of forgot that guys might use that door. I mean, there are plenty of doors on the ship that you use.
Well, have fun. You are now residents of the Hidden City.
After about 10 minutes or so, as you're kind of just like kicking rocks, trying to figure out exactly what to do, there's a faint crackling and popping noise. As there's a split moment of magic beneath both of your feet, as the doorway reappears right below you. For those of you inside the mansion, it's been rather calm, but all of a sudden there's a whooshing noise downstairs, sort of near the servant quarters were before. And in that moment, Raku and Eric's tumble inwards, sort of rolling on the ground for a split moment before bumping up against the wall, basically in a pile.
Poked my head
Damn
out
it!
to
What
our-
the hell was that about?
I have no idea.
Having fun, you two. Having fun.
What happened?
The
And why are you in here?
child brought me here.
Cobalt!
After
There's a commotion happening outside your workshop, Cobalt. You don't really know what it's about.
I pay no mind.
if it's of any note, he also got me to write some things on a paper. Is this of relevance?
I assume you don't have the paper.
No, he took it back and put it in a mailbox.
I'm gonna call out for Cobalt again.
Yeah, You think someone's like calling out a name down, outside, Cobalt?
Can barely hear it. I'm super focused.
I think he's making something in there.
If this project is gonna take 3 weeks, I'm gonna do it in 2.
You don't get any responses. Sorry, Eric's.
I'm gonna go to his room and then workshop. Actually, no.
Okay.
I
Well, for one,
reverse
I don't
that
have a
order. I
room.
would. You don't have a room? Okay. Then his
No.
workshop.
The door will be locked.
I will pound on the door.
Yeah,
Cobalt
there's
con-
probably an issue out there, Cobalt.
Cobalt conjures earmuff.
You are determined to ignore him.
I will. I don't know.
Are you the child's parents?
No way, no how.
Eh. Are you going to ground him?
Quite possibly.
I am not going to do anything of the sort.
Well then, excuse me. And he'll go back into his shrine room and close the door.
All right.
I guess you see him walk into a room you've seen before.
Yep, no room.
This is what happens when you leave the psychopath and the kid alone
With a hostage.
with a hostage.
The hostage becomes your roommate.
Where are you going?
In the shrine?
Why is there a shrine? No, you out.
No, I'm currently communing with my god right now. Thank you.
I'm going to draw my bow on him as Eric's is yelling at him.
Oh,
We don't know who you are or what you're doing
So,
here.
at this moment, a piece of paper slides on Cobalt's door, and it's the paper that he was writing down with when he was interrogating him.
I don't think we would notice that. I mean,
I'm pretty sure super sensitive raccoon notices everything.
That is probably true. Passive perception 22. Do I see that?
See what? Sorry.
The paper that Kobold slid under his door.
Perception 22. Yeah, you probably would.
As I have my bow drawn on this lizard folk, I see the door over there. And, I look over to Eric's and tell him to keep watch on him, and I'll go look at the paper.
All right. You go over and look for the paper itself. Just look at the door, and you see just sort of like the light refraction from inside. And you see a very, very slight shadow, as there is definitely a piece of paper somewhere in there, perhaps maybe a foot inwards.
It's the interrogation log.
And it's gonna be like super detailed and professional, where it'll have like my questions and then his answers.
Like an official court transcript.
Yes.
Basically, yeah.
Sadly, you don't know shorthand.
What's up?
Never mind. So,
And so, what's the Cliff's notes of this paper?
you aren't actually able to grab it. It's out of the reach of your fingers at the moment.
Wait,
Wait,
why is that?
Oh, did you slide it under the door with
Yeah.
a bit of force?
Yeah, I slid it out into the hallway.
Oh, out into the hallway. Okay. I thought you slid it. No, okay. Never mind. Yeah, no, the paper's right there.
Yeah, and I
Um,
told Eric's to watch the lizard folk while I read the paper.
I am,
Um,
and I've got a readied action of a firebolt in case he moves.
You're
the paper itself
very
is
hostile to someone you rescued.
We didn't rescue you.
Well, I kind of did, but I also don't know who he is. I followed after Sully.
Anyway, the paper?
It is a very detailed description of the interactions between Rock, Cobalt, and Infel during the initial sort of questioning. It seems from what you read that Infel is telling the truth about sort of basically their memories of what's been happening before. I mean, there's no red flags immediately for you, like.
Well, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna look at this transcript and ask them some of the same questions, but I'm just to make things short, I'm gonna assume they're gonna be the same answer.
They're roughly the same answer, just delivered a little more curtly since he's in a more hostile situation.
Alright, I'm going to... Raku's gonna be passive, but not, like, letting his guard down. If that makes sense.
It also depicts his relation to Sully.
He
How they knew each
is
other past.
really not going to care about that because Sully is gone. And Rock and Sully, while it didn't, I guess vocally didn't seem like they had much of a relationship, they did, like, combatively and in combination, they were pretty damn good together. So Raku likes Sully, so he's still gonna kind of be on edge a bit.
Right.
And so he'll relay this to Eric's, but he's gonna go ahead and look at what is it, Infel,
Mm-hmm.
and say, "You better not fuck up, because I'm gonna keep an eye on you."
We both will.
Oh, great.
I see that you've talked with the rest of the party, and I understand what may be going on, but just know that I have to be vigilant.
I
don't wanna
was
be a
taken
dick.
here by your party.
You were in a wall,
No,
and you
there's a
can
door.
leave. Now there is a door. You may walk out of that anytime you'd like, but if you would like to stay here, just understand that there might be other discretions that we'll be taking for the time being.
Are manners a part of that?
As far as we know, you got out of there. Our party member did not. That is enough for
Fair.
us to have a question of your actual intentions.
Fair enough, I suppose. So then, what happens now?
I guess that depends on your own actions. If you want to stay passive, I will be passive. But if you show any aggression to this group, I will kill you immediately. Ask anyone here. I am not to be fucked with.
Oh,
But
joy.
if you want to be passive, I will be as well.
I'd just like to go back and pray. Thank you.
Alright, do as you will, but be careful around my friends.
Well, at least you're protective. I suppose that's an admirable quality.
I am
Rock.
going to have a serious bone to pick with Cobalt.
Do what?
So he'll pick on your bone.
Oof.
Okay, through the door, I'm guessing.
Never mind. Rock, are you doing a detailed
Yeah.
look through all the stuff? Okay.
Sorry,
About
you-
this time, you'd finish up your count.
Would Raku just have a spider sense around around Rock being about around that much loot? Fucking
Of course not.
It all at all.
I mean, you already tried.
money.
You already tried. I mean, you already tried to teleport into there by saying, "What do I see?"
No. I apologize by that. I wasn't sure what was going on. But I was connected to Rock's mind, so I might have some residual effects from the weave.
Maybe.
Come on, words is Raku's specialty.
Go ahead and take a look at the party inventory sheet, please.
Yeah, I see it. Holy fuck, 4,500 platinum pieces.
Wow.
Yeah,
Beautiful.
Dova's definitely feeling one up by Rika.
I seriously have not watched the game. That's the Friday game, right?
Yeah. We our last episode we sued a gnome who was apparently the world's version of Walt Disney.
You sued Walt Disney.
He was selling plushes in our likeness with voice lines captured from us. So we sued him and won 80,000 platinum pieces
Wow.
at level 5.
That's
That's a lot of.
that is a lot
Fucking-
of stuff right there.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do with all of it?
That's
We
800.
I mean, I'm sure it'll be
gold.
gone before tomorrow, but wow.
As players, we are actually limiting ourselves to one level appropriate magic item each. And the rest we've already spent. Well, first off, we paid our attorney. It was a
20% cut.
It was only 10.
Mm.
It was a glorious session because the Rika does really good voices, and so it was her as a high-pitched gnome arguing with herself as a southern gent dragonborn.
Oh.
But yeah, so we paid the attorney. He's now on retainer for us. We also have our we also funded an orphanage and a homeless shelter for the city, and I'm trying to argue with them to get to just invest the rest into an adventurers guild.
It's gonna be hard to let go of that much money.
Can't wait to identify all.
I also did a they don't know this yet, but none of them are watching, so they're gonna get a cart just like the one we have here.
Hmm.
I have to. All of my characters across all the D&D groups are going to have a ferret familiar named Kale and a cart named Shrek. And eventually the carts will be upgraded with the mansion inside.
That's That's a impressive inventory on a stall. Alright. That's okay, awesome. Beautiful.
Yeah, so good luck with getting that all split up.
Okay.
Well, split
Plus,
up, quotation
Rock
marks.
is the only one who is aware of it.
Yes.
Yes, he is.
Eric's
And-
would be looking for Rock, to ask his opinions on Infel.
Didn't you say there was a large number of curved blades?
Scimitars.
Scimitars.
I forgot to include
yeah.
that. That is smart.
I want to try using because I know Cobalt sent the message under the door. We're talking to Infel right now. I'm with Eric, so I want to cast message to try to talk with Rock. Is he close enough for that? 120 feet?
Different
Also
dimension.
Yeah. Fortunately,
Okay.
it would not work.
But would I know that it did not work and would probably assume that he had to be in a different dimension?
Yes.
So I'm gonna cast it and get irritated.
All right.
Okay,
I'm gonna look to Eric and go, where the fuck is Rock?
He's still in the chamber. He's still in the room I was taken. I don't know which one it was though.
As soon as Infel says that, I'm going to put my left arm across his throat and draw a dagger and say, why is he there?
Because
Wait,
he
what?
took me there?
Why did he not come back with us?
He got a letter from the robot.
Raku's gonna take a breath and try to relax.
Okay, I am really confused as to what's going on here.
Me too.
Infel, which Raku does not know, just told Raku that Rock was in another dimension, and Raku got really irritated and got sort of
Infel
violent.
would not have said that he's in a
No.
different dimension. Infel doesn't know that.
He means
said
that
he-
you can't cast message through the mansion because the mansion is technically a different dimension.
Yeah, that was
He
out
said
of
that
character stuff.
character.
Oh, okay. Well then, let's kind of
Jeez.
redact that, I guess.
Yes, that was very sudden.
Sorry, that's I'm trying to roleplay. I've gotten very attuned to Rock, or not Raku.
No problem. It's good.
I hope that's been seen because I try to roleplay really hard with this character. I fucking love it.
It's awesome.
It's
this point,
so
though,
much
a
fun.
Punch
'Cause
may be earned.
Because out of character, I am obsessed with, I love the idea of magic. So it's really hard to play D&D without a magical character. So Raku, it's really interesting that I've gotten so freaking committed to this one. I know I'm a level 1 sorcerer, but I never use spells. It's just kind of like a
Flavor.
gimmick, essentially. And I gotta say, it's so much fun. And I hope it shows, because I try role-playing really hard.
Oh yeah. It shows.
Rock's gonna close the room.
All right.
He just has a feeling. There's
Um,
a thief on the prowl.
he's gonna close the room. Relock the combination to it, and
there's
then
a quiet sort of crackle as the magic fades.
and then what he's going to do is he's gonna go over to is there a captain's chair?
Yes. There's the chair behind well, there's not really like a throne sort of captain's chair. but there is a very heavily padded chair at the head of the table, just inside that C7 sort of area.
He's just gonna look for a place where Ayastala spent most of her time in this room.
Probably on that chair.
Okay, so what he's gonna do, he's gonna walk over and he's gonna reach into his mouth and rip one of his teeth out.
Can you give me a Constitution saving throw?
Sure.
Yes, just casually rip out one of your teeth. They grow back. I mean, they do for kobolds.
You try to, in a bit of almost anger, you try to remove one of your teeth. You grip at it with your claws and try to pull it out, but it's stuck rather firmly inside. There's a building pain in your jaw as you continue to pull at it.
Yeah, he's
Sorry,
gonna.
Rock. Your bones are
feel-
too strong.
It's frustrating. You feel angry at yourself, and all these emotions are just starting to bubble up right now as you're continuing to try, but your strength just doesn't seem to come to you.
He's gonna get pissed off that he can't do this and take his axe and just land it on the ground and then just roar as loud as he can. Just pure, unadulterated frustration and emotion.
Well, I think we could find Rock now.
There, whereas before you'd hear the very faint sort of din of the kobold crew performing their various duties. Now that your anguished roar is sort of the echoes of it have faded away, it's quiet outside. And for those of you who are outside the mansion at the moment, you definitely would hear that.
I would have headed off to do so, to look outside for... But as I said, it's to find out what Rock thinks of the lizard folk.
Yeah, you would have been in the lower cargo hold, right next to the breach. And when you hear that, the various kobolds that are working to try to patch the hole up and get the rock out sort of stop. They look at each other, and they kind of look towards you, Eric's.
I'm sure that's nothing. We did just... Well, would I recognize that as Rock?
Yes.
I mean, I'm sure I've heard it. Sorry, did you say yes?
Yes, you would
Okay.
definitely recognize it as Rock.
Okay. I'm sure he's fine. Just need some time. Guys, let's go ahead and work on this, and then we'll talk to him later. So they're still trying to get the rock out and patch up everything else. Are we, like, taking on much water, or...
No. It seems that the water that was coming in was left over from the crash.
Okay.
There's a small trickle of water, probably because this hasn't been floating for a good time now. But it's fairly small, and evaporation can take care of most of it, you think?
Okay, is anything still coming in? You said there was a small trickle?
Yes.
Okay. I'm gonna go start using mending on that area. I'm not expecting to be able to repair the entire hole, but at least get it so...
Okay.
You know, so it's not leaking.
Yeah.
I will, while I'm doing that, I will also be telling the kobolds to spread out and do a thorough search of the ship to make sure that there are no other leaks.
Yep.
And... yeah.
All right. The kobolds head off to do the work that you've specified. And yeah. You think you're doing a pretty good job at patching up these super small leaks down in the bilge hold. as well as whatever areas in the cargo hold that are above the waterline. I'm sorry, below the waterline.
I will, of
All
course, be going a little higher than the water line for, waves and such, just to be on the safe side. But
Right.
yeah. So that's what I'll be doing with the kobolds.
Infill, Raku, and Cobalt. What are you doing?
I'm just going back to my prayer room.
I'm also occupied at the moment.
I'm going to be trying to find the last member of our team at least, because I know that Sully's gone, so I'm gonna find Rock.
As you're
Thought
heading
that
out,
Raku came with me.
yes, you would have heard the roar of Rock at about the same time as Eric's. Actually, you were standing right next to him.
Okay.
I would have stopped Raku if he goes to actually go look for Rock, because, well, it kind of sounds to me at least that he needs some alone time at the moment. Raku?
Yes. I guess I'll be following Eric's now.
I'll send you off to go look for holes and such and guide the kobolds and such.
In just the airship as a whole.
As a whole, yeah. It's a lot of area to go over, but...
Raku is very perceptive, and during his time on the airship, he was actually taught the ballista, which is what Dova told me. And so I'm sure, being taught the artillery, he also knows what artillery could do to the ship.
Yes. It is. You know for a fact that the ship seems to be in good shape for what hit it. It didn't hit any of the masts, which are the sort of vertical supports for most of the ship. The hull that was damaged is somewhat structural, but with the amount that was damaged, the ship will still hold itself together.
Is there any damage that I could assign some kobolds to fix? Just like preventatively and just for longevity of the ship?
You're not quite experienced enough to know where sort of the weak spots are, per se.
I
But you
mean,
could
just
definitely
walking
try to
around if
install
I see
some-
something. Because
Yeah.
during this whole freaking thing, Raku has been very interested in engineering and fixing the cart, so...
Okay.
He's been reading manuals.
I have read multiple books on shipbuilding and such too, so...
He's been getting into DIY.
Yeah, so if there's anything you want me to roll, I'll be happy to do that. Raku is also
Go
very great with
ahead.
tools.
And roll intelligence.
Alright, that is my worst stat.
Oof.
You could probably roll that with proficiency. What's your proficiency bonus?
4, so 13.
All right. You can't really spot any areas to improve the design right now. It's fairly well designed, and it's been continuously built on, from what you can tell. But you can definitely help with the repairs in a way that'll make this thing solid before heading out or trying to head out. The main issue that you're seeing right now is that the sort of the magical levitating element that holds this thing up is currently stalled. The sort of metaphorical flame has extinguished itself.
There are motors on this, right?
Yeah.
Can I do a tools check to show the kobolds how to fix it?
Think stuff like that should be left to us.
Perhaps.
Just
Are you proficient in Tinker's tools?
I believe I am. I know I have some. What am I
Um,
actually? I'm not proficient in them, but I do have them. Because I have Thieves' Tools, Disguise Kit, Poisoner's Kit, Jules Tools, and Forgery Kit. But I know I do have Tinker's Tools. I've been using those a lot.
I'd say you wouldn't be able to actually teach them, but you could sort of work alongside them using whatever knowledge that you have. The motors that move this thing along are an intricate, sort of an elemental powered design, which if you fiddle around with in ways that you aren't prepared for, you could possibly just explode the whole thing and die in a very fiery, violent death.
I feel like at this point I should have half proficiency in Tinker's Tools, because I've used them a lot.
I'd say you'd be able to avoid your own death, while working on it, but that's about it.
That's completely fair. Alright.
Oh, sorry. I yawned really loud.
we didn't hear it.
Yes, but I completely lost my train of thought. Cobalt, you're still working on your golem. Rock, what are you doing now?
Oh wow, I'm muted. So after just doing everything, he's out of the room, and he's gonna use his cantrip coin message and cast a message to Raku.
You can't unless
But
he's
that
outside of
wouldn't
the
work. Oh, I'm outside the mansion now, yeah.
Yeah. And he's gonna tell, and just Raku to say, Bread Beater, come to Aestel's room alone.
I will absolutely do that. Because I know where Aestel's room was. I remember back when her and the first captain were arguing.
Yes.
So I will head there.
Alright. You make your way towards the captain's quarters and find Rock all alone inside.
Howdy, what's going on?
He's just panting and just looks beaten.
That doesn't help. Use your words.
What do you say?
I said that doesn't help. Use your words, Rock.
He's gonna tell him to close and lock the door.
I will do that.
And
And
then,
I'll use kind of like a screwdriver to break the lock as well, so no one could open it if they had a key.
and
Alright.
Oh,
Rock's gonna cast Unseen Servant.
Alright, go ahead and work off that spell slot.
unseen servant.
Yeah,
Or
and
8 minutes to cast.
yeah, he's gonna tell the servant just to watch the door and make sure nobody comes in.
Alright.
Because it's a simple enough task to ask him.
Sort of the spectral upper half of a skeleton, clothed in faintly transparent, almost like a tuxedo, stands near the door, floats near the door with his hands behind his back.
And he's gonna look at Raku and say, God, what was he gonna say? And just do a very faint smile. and he's gonna say, you keep secret,
I'm gonna say, of course.
as I keep your secret.
Whatever that means, alright.
Well, he's more referring to the woman in the house.
Oh, Raku's already forgotten about that.
Oh, guess not. So, Rock's going to,
He's true neutral, which means his whole mind's a gray area.
yeah, Rock just doesn't have a mind. So he is actually going to show Raku the stash.
Raku's eyes are gonna, like Scrooge McDuck, just turn into money signs.
And
Are you
very,
gonna let him? Are you going to let him see
And
the
very
code that you enter in?
No, I'm not going to let him see the code.
Can Raku watch him enter the code, like, stealthily? It's just something I can roll.
Are you physically shielding the code from his view, Rock?
Yes,
I
I
don't know
am.
if is Rock smart enough to do that?
He's wise
Dude.
enough to do that.
There you go.
He is wise enough for that.
Alright, fine.
It seems we've lost Cobalt, but we'll continue since this part does not involve him.
Pertain to him.
So, when your eyes bug open, Rock's going to take his tail slowly up to your lips and go, shh.
I'm gonna go, obviously. Come on, you're talking to me. I could probably convince you that I haven't seen this room.
He's gonna let a lighthearted chuckle and kind of punch him really hard in the arm.
I guess I'll just kind of flick my arm a bit and laugh along.
So he's going to go in.
Now, do you want me to just go along with all the items in the hold, or can I actually look for stuff too?
You can start looking for stuff in specific.
Yeah, a bow.
You don't actually happen to find any bows.
That
But-
is unfortunate.
Rock is gonna toss him something, though. He's gonna toss him the musket.
I will catch that.
All right, you are now holding. It looks similar in design to the pistols she carried,
Uh-huh.
but bigger, like really big, like twice as tall as you are.
Word up.
Yeah, if it was the pistols, he would have kept it. He has a special place in his chest for those pistols.
Yeah, I know. Raku tried to take one of those pistols, but it didn't work.
Fortunately, you did not find any pistols.
No.
However, I'm 100% sure I can just check this ship and find a pistol, like, just in the basic armory.
Well, he was looking for more, her pistols.
Hmm.
Because the first time they met,
The one that
she
shot him.
him. Yep, the one that shot him. Which is probably long gone. So, I'm gonna do that.
Look for the pistol, or
No, just show him the massive horde and just kind of stay in here and,
look
Share it.
over all. Okay.
yeah, look over it.
All right. As you guys sort of go through and try to catalog everything that's in there, you come up with the following list.
Raku's gonna open up his bag of coaling and try to shove as many gems as he can in there.
No, Rock's gonna be talking to you about the plan about this stuff.
And what is the plan?
I'll message you.
Okay.
Oh, biscuit bullets.
Instead of a musket, it's a biscuit. That's the name of that's the name of my gun. It's gonna be the biscuit.
It shoots croissants.
The biscuit. That's
And
great.
instead of exploding, it goes whoa every time it fires.
Anyways. And Cobalt, we cannot hear you, sadly. Don't know what to tell you. So, Infel and Eric's. What are you doing?
Well, I'm still in prayer with my god. However, I have probably also slotted in my spells. It's been a bit.
Are there any other immediate, like those repairs that I mentioned that need to be done still?
Immediate repairs? No. The rest of it is just getting that giant rock out. It's going to need some serious sort of force behind it to do so.
Do I think that I could use... what is that spell? Don't have it prepared right. The same one that I used for... sealing up that radioactive thing.
Move Earth, whatever it was.
Stone? Is it
Hey, it
stone
worked.
shape?
There you go. I can
What'd I
hear you,
miss?
Cobalt. Not much, really.
Cool. My internet, like suddenly Discord didn't want to connect to the internet at all.
Eclair bullets, yes. Actually, no. Eclairs are too good to waste on as bullets. You gotta eat those.
Donut holes.
Yes, donut holes. That's a great idea. Anyways. So me looking at it and what I know of the way the spell works and such. Do I think that I could use Stone Shape to kind of like shape it out over the water so it'll just fall out of the boat into the ocean?
Yeah. Doing it that way might lead to a little more damage if not prepared properly, due to the fact that as it kind of rolls out, it'll take out whatever's underneath it, but that'll probably work.
I was thinking of going straight out with it. So it's not like it's gonna just like droop over the side. It'll just go straight out, and it'll probably take out a little bit of wood above where it's at. Kind of like
Well, that's also an issue, but the main issue is going to be with something that heavy. As it shifts, it's going to sort of move its weight around to places where it wasn't applied. So it's going to perhaps crush some stuff beneath, but nothing that will be particularly structurally damaging.
Okay, so with my shipbuilding knowledge and stuff, I could probably get it out without sinking the ship.
You could probably do that, yeah.
Alright, then I will go rest to prepare the spell.
All right, then. How long do you guys want to keep going tonight?
I'm
got no
good
work
till
tomorrow.
whenever.
Yeah, so I
Same,
can
as
stay
long
up
as we
whatever you
can.
want.
I mean, it's scheduled to go for another 2 hours, so...
All right.
Are you out of ideas for us for us to do?
Not that. It's just that I still have was basically over at my old apartment cleaning up all day, so I don't know how much I have left in me.
Ah.
I could probably go for another half hour, maybe, I'd say.
Okay. Well then, shall we say that I was able to go get that and trying to look and see if I've got any. Let's see, I can have up to level 6. Trying to think of something else I could possibly use to help. Wait, there is. What was that spell? Is it? I think it's Wrath of Nature. Do I think that... Because there is a spell called Wrath of Nature that kind of brings trees, rocks, grass, etc. to life a bit. They become animated. And do I think that I might be able to use that spell in conjunction to, you know, have the... Could I maybe have the rock? Well, I mean... Well, I can cause a loose rock to launch at a creature. I don't think so, but I'm more referring to, like, trees and wood. Would I possibly be able to use that to kind of have the wood of the ship kind of go out and I'm not expecting a whole lot, but just to help get it out, if that makes sense.
That would certainly help, yeah.
Okay, well, I've already got that one prepared. I will get the other one prepared and then go start this. As a precaution, I would have all the kobolds stand more in the center, about half of them on the opposite side of the ship, just to balance, because it'll probably, you know, sudden weight going outside of the ship could cause it to tilt that way.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea.
So half of them standing on the other side, and then the other half in the middle to kind of run back and forth and balance as it's needed. I dragged Raku to help me as well with keeping them organized for this.
Raku seems to be
not with you.
off somewhere at the moment.
Well, it would have taken me time to prepare the spell, so I kind of figured after that I would go gather him up for this.
Alright. So, inside the captain's quarters, what are you guys doing?
So,
should you message Nova about that?
I was just about to.
Yeah, that'd probably be best if we did that.
Alright, hold on. Let me send you a quick message.
Alright.
Where is it?
Cobalt, are you still working on that golem?
Yeah.
Alright.
I mean, unless Raku and Rockrock decide to bring a ton of treasures for me to identify, I'm probably going to be here for, you know, till something else happens.
Okay.
So, what's going on now?
Waiting for a message from Rock.
Yep.
Infel still praying?
Yep.
Alright.
It's what I do. Plus, I've actually got nothing else to do. None of these kobolds like me, except for Cobalt.
consent.
All right.
I mean, I guess I could come out and just see what's up. Actually, maybe I will go and knock on Cobalt's door. I mean, I've reconnected with my god. It's been a bit, but this child. I mean, if no one else is doing anything.
Yeah, you could
What?
certainly come on.
Alright, I guess I'll leave the room and knock on Cobalt's door.
Well, someone is knocking on your door. However, it is a bit muffled.
It also,
Gloves you're wearing.
I can probably tell it's also higher up.
It's higher up. Oh yes, you would be able to hear that it's coming from about midway on the door.
I'm gonna slowly open the door with Mage Hand,
All right.
and then I'm gonna close it behind him if he comes in.
I will come in and then kneel down and say, "So, child, what are you working on?"
I gotta make another golem.
Eh,
Smaller
Another
one.
one?
Yeah, you can see a much bigger golem already made that's missing.
Ah, yes, with the weird tendril eyes.
Oh no. Yeah, it's back out.
Mm. Ah,
Also, it's just the eyeball.
oh, okay. Huh. Would you like some help?
Kind of pauses for a minute because Sully was the only one who ever helped him. And he says, "Can you hand me that rock over there?" And he points to a bigger one in the pile. That's basically him saying that, yeah. And then they work on it together. Hooray. Now, I don't think clerics can mend. That's okay because Cobalt has all the mending he needs.
Perfect. Looks like we lost connection for Rock. Rock, you still there?
Yes. Can you hear me?
I believe that's Rock. Anyways. I know that's Sully. I'm sorry. Infel. Regardless, there's things going on. Oh, he's whispering. Never mind. So, I'd say by this time you'd be ready to do your boat or rock shifting thing, if you are ready, Eric's.
I am. Was I able to gather up, what's his face?
Riku? Not... You can't seem to find him at the current moment. And at the, that sort of, as you continue to look around, you actually do manage to, see that the door to the captain's quarters is locked shut for some reason.
I'm gonna knock on it. Hello? Riku?
Riku and Rock, you hear someone knocking at the door.
I purposely broke the lock, so I'm not gonna respond.
I'm not gonna respond.
Nobody seems to be inside.
Well, I'll turn away from the door calling out for Riku and saying, I need your help getting this rock out of the ship. Raku! And I'll start
From that description,
walking away.
Raku's gonna have absolutely no interest in getting a rock off the ship.
Okay, well, I
Seems like
guess
you're
I will try it on my own. I'll pick out one of the kobolds to keep an eye on the shifting of the ship.
Alright.
Probably find a cannonball to, you know, put on the floor and use as a judge for a somewhat more accurate judge, you know, of which way the ship is currently leveled at, you know? I'm sure they still have some cannonballs on the ship.
Oh yeah, there's quite a hearty amount of them, at least 100 or so.
Yeah, just need one.
That's how you spell it, cobalt, sorry. So, with everything in place, with the kobold sort of having moved the cannonballs to an advantageous spot, and them being sort of distributed around, ready to move to where they need to, you find that you think you're ready.
I will start with the Wrath of Nature because that's a concentration spell. Lasts for up to a minute.
Right.
And
Calling upon the wood of the boards, you actually get it to start almost levering against the
I'm back.
giant rock. Very, very slightly shifting it, but you know you need a bit more force to actually get it out.
the point of it is to guide it out and away from the ship, basically. Kind of
Yes.
forming a ramp that will keep it from, hopefully keep it from actually hitting lower on the ship.
Yes.
Yeah, you know what I'm going for. I will then use Stone Shape to, you know, push exactly like I described before.
All right. As you start to grab against the surface of the rock with your sort of arcane forces, the rock slowly cracks and creaks as it shapes itself into a shape which sort of pushes its center of gravity very, very slowly towards the edge. Everyone seems to have this moment of doubt as there's a very heavy cracking sound. But a moment later, there's a heaving in the ship as, in a split moment, the stone just rotates out, falling into the water just below. There's a large splash as a decent amount of salt water is thrown into the opening which it left, rocking the boat quite violently. Raku and Rock, you're almost thrown off your feet as the boat rocks quite substantially.
Hello, I'm back. Just so you know, what's
Hey.
going on?
Eric's is removing the rock. Not you, Rock.
Oh,
Hello?
right, the damage.
But yes, the damage. Trying to get the rock out so we can actually repair the boat.
Yeah.
No sense fixing it up if there's gonna be a rock stuck in it forever. So I will of course quickly after it's out go look and survey the cracking and other noises that it made.
All right. It seems that there was a bit of fracturing in the supports just below where the rock rotated out of, but other than that, it seems that it went very smoothly.
Well, I will immediately start mending. Specifically working some of my druid magic, a little bit of druid craft into it to reinforce it a bit more and, repair the cracking and such.
Yeah, all right, absolutely. And as you continue to do that, the kobolds seem to actually be much more enthusiastic than they were before. I guess seeing the end of the road, as it were, because they've been working at this for quite a long time. It's currently around midnight-ish as you finally get that thing into the water, and you guys are all running on fumes. Whatever remnants of energy that had sort of remained with you have currently just burnt out completely.
I still want to push through to at least make sure that the boat is stable.
Yes. The boat is indeed stable at the moment. There's no gushing water. There's no major leaks that would cause any sort of issues at the moment. Everything does seem good to go.
Alright, then Eric's will probably just kind of slump down against the side of the boat panting and probably pass out moments later.
Alright. Some of the kobolds actually try to wake you up, see if you're alright, but it's not. You're done. You're gone.
I mean, I've been working on this for hours and hours of constant magic and mending and all that stuff, so yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gone.
Alright.
So while they're building the golem, at one point, crap, I forgot his name because he's not up there. Lizard folk.
Infel?
Infel's gonna turn around and Cobalt's gonna be passed out, like on a pile of rocks.
Yeah, because they were both working together with that golem.
Yep.
I guess he's gonna pick up the little kobold and say, "Little child, rocks aren't comfortable," and carry him back to his room.
You find that he doesn't actually have a.
No, Infel's room.
Ah, okay.
He doesn't know these rooms well enough to tell which one belongs to who.
Alright, you find it back to your room.
Well, I guess you'll tuck him in and then go see what everyone else is doing.
Tuck him into the bed.
Yes.
It looks like a fairly nondescript room, so yeah, it's probably his. Maybe. You don't know.
No. It's his own room.
Infel's room.
Oh, right.
Since he saw the map.
Oh yeah.
Saw
right.
where.
So yeah. Rockrock and Raku. I believe you're the. Actually, Infel, what would you do afterwards?
Well, I suppose I'd find my way back to the entrance. But I would be sidetracked when I notice these servants are lizard folk.
It's uncanny. There's like something off about them, very, very slightly, but you can't really place what.
I'll ask later. Where's that robot actually?
It's currently making sure all of the various lanterns and torches, not really torches, but lanterns are oiled and lit.
You, automaton. Why are there lizard folk servants?
Yes, they handle some of the more mundane aspects here. They were requested initially when the estate was acquired.
By Cobalt specifically.
You just asked for them.
Yes. Is
Alright.
there an issue?
I am a lizard folk. And I'm seeing my kind as mindless drones, it almost seems like.
Also, they're all super handsome. Also, Cobalt's.
They all look very, very handsome.
The irony is that Sully's the one that designed them. So
No,
if he
no,
tries to
come on.
confront any of us, it's just like, I don't fucking know.
No. Cobalt was gonna ask. Remember?
Okay. No, I don't. I thought it was Sully.
It was like first meal time.
Because, you know, if you ask Raku about that, he's gonna go, I don't fucking know. That's how they always have been.
And they're so handsome, I feel inadequate. They're just-
Sir, does there seem to be a problem? Yeah, all these slaves look like me, but they're more handsome.
I feel inadequate. I feel
These slaves are making me self-conscious.
I have that smolder. Why are they like this?
Personally, I don't see the reason to be offended, sir. Many human households have human servants, and they get along quite nicely.
Yes, but they don't seem alive.
Well, I believe you're here, so perhaps you may serve to assist in making them seem more alive. You would have first-hand experience of the sort of things that we may be missing here.
What? Your answers are strangely evasive, but very well, I guess. And you'll try to talk to one.
Is Gestalt aware that they're made by magic?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, so he's just fucking with them. So he's just...
I mean, he kind of has a point. But anyways, you try to speak with one, just maybe saying hello or even just waving to it, and it doesn't seem to respond. It doesn't actually seem to look you in the eye either, seemingly staring straight ahead or whatever it's working with.
Robot, what are they?
They are products of the magic which imbues this place. They don't have actual minds, but perform mundane tasks, much in the way that ants might. Perhaps
Oh,
even less free will.
oh, I see. Perhaps you should have led with that. Oh,
I apologize. I simply assumed.
here I am in a magical mansion, having been rescued by kobolds on an airship. Nothing will surprise me any longer today. Nothing.
I certainly hope so.
All right. Thank you. Can I have something to eat?
Immediately, the servants are in a frenzy.
Immediately. The Gestalt simply claps his hands together twice, as a meal is being prepared for you.
This is very sudden. What's happening?
Well, the magic of this establishment also provides for the near limitless food production.
Oh.
Do you have any preferences in fish?
Yes.
Anyone you prefer?
I want yellowfin tuna.
He nods and he sort of takes one of the servants aside and speaks a few words. I believe you'll
want
find
a-
the meal to your liking when it's complete. It should be 5 minutes or so. Please, find a
No,
seat.
I want a live, whole yellowfin tuna.
Ah, I'm afraid it won't be alive, but it'll be whole and raw.
This is acceptable.
Very well. He sort of takes the servant aside again, talks to him a bit, and sends him on a way. All right. And eventually, after bringing out a few small sides, like a small salad, a few slices of bread, a rather burly lizard folk servant brings over a very large tuna. Because I know tuna are very large. How big are they normally?
Big.
Very large.
You said what? Yellowfin?
Yeah.
Yes.
I'll get the
It's
statistics
about
for
the
you.
size of you. And in fact, there's a heavy thumping in the ground as he walks towards you with this gigantic fish. Just before he places it on the table, a few servants place down a special table mat of waxed parchment paper and lays the fish down on it. It does seem to be dead, but seems to be fresh. There's a familiar scent of the ocean on it.
Are you looking for Atlantic or Atlantic? Okay, so yellowfin tuna is about 400 pounds. Atlantic and Pacific tuna are about 900 pounds.
Yeah, it's a big boy.
I want nothing but this right now. You are all excused. As he digs his claws in and starts biting off the head.
Tastes like home. Tastes great. Rock and Raku. You're the last ones left. Who are still conscious. Because I know for a fact that Infel is going to collapse as soon as they get their fill.
Yeah. We're gonna step out of the room.
Okay.
And I'm gonna look at Raku and nod to him.
I shall nod back.
And I'll give the motion of you lead the way. Since you locked the door.
I'm gonna kick the door open since I broke the lock.
Yar.
Just a smile on Rock's face.
Is that as the door flies open, there's a tinkle of metal and delicate components as the locked internals just kind of spill out and kind of fling themselves outwards on the deck. It seems that most of the kobolds have sort of retired at this point. Only a few stay awake, sort of keeping watch. Seems that they've sort of gotten the hang of all this and really are almost self-sustaining at this point. I'm guessing you two are going to go into the mansion and sort of just collapse.
We can do that.
Sure. Hmm.
Or
Wait, so leaving the area we felt very tired?
Yes, you're barely standing up at this point.
I would have.
I'm gonna look to Rock and wonder if we should, or I'm gonna tell Rock to resecure the vault.
Oh, he already did.
Okay.
Like it's. I had to say it because he's super precautious with that. Lockdown tight.
All right.
So, guess we'll go to bed.
All right. You guys stagger back to your bedrooms and pass out as soon as you hit the bed. And you guys are going to sleep until about 5 o'clock the next day.
All right, hold on.
Before that happens, I'd say that's probably good for tonight since I'm at that point as well.
Alrighty.
Yes. Sorry about that.
No, I think he said alrighty, not already.
Yeah, I said alrighty.
Still, I am apologizing.
Thank you all so much for joining us. You can see my schedule scrolling on the screen right there on the left. This has been Rooms and Reptiles, Dungeons and Dragons. Thank you all so much for coming and spending some time with us. Thank you, Anir, and we had Vex come in for a bit, and everybody else. I really appreciate the support here on the channel. I will be back, well, yeah, tomorrow at 5 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. That is 7 Eastern. Probably some more God of War. More Niflheim adventures. Otherwise, thank you all so much for joining, and I bid you all adieu.
Goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye.
Thank you for coming, Roy.